think the broadcast model is dead. I think, especially for film, for video, because you need to understand again how that business model works. The business model works with very powerful studio bosses that make the decisions on what gets flighted. And at best, if you pitch it properly, you get a pilot, and then they'll test the pilot, and then it either gets canned or gets refunded. And that's not, we don't want few people determining what content we like. You know, that talks to a very small, admittedly lucrative slice of the population. What we're seeing the internet do is allow this long tail to become economically viable. And so there's no reason, the internet kind of allows us to have no constraints on, or very little constraints on, what is produced for tons of different markets. I think what's interesting too is the data is informing that, right? So there's a couple of things there. Firstly, Netflix did the Arrested Development 4, Season 4 based on data. It realized that Arrested Development was insanely popular in its catalog. So it went and got the rights from Fox and funded the 4th season. They took a punt on House of Cards based on what was liked, what genres and what type of stuff was liked in their catalog. And they thought, let's write a script and see if we can make this work. And they committed to 2 seasons up front, unheard of. I think the budget was something like $200 million they gave for the House of Cards. You then also have, there's a company in the States called HBO which produces beautiful content, but it's also interestingly, so it's a mix of new and old. It's what it's done with Breaking Bad, for instance, is it's taken a punt on a series that actually didn't have high ratings in the 1st season. It would have been canned in the traditional model. But it allowed the creative process to go through, and it's become a cult following. And so while it didn't reach massive ratings on a Nielsen basis in country, it's just got a broader appeal, and it's got a very vociferous fan base that watch it over and over again, and it's got cult-like status. And so the old Hollywood model would never have allowed that to flight, and unlikely Arrested Development 4, Season 4, and House of Cards. But these have been tremendously successful ventures. So what does that say? It says that Hollywood doesn't actually know what the market wants. And that's why we see Hollywood, this very much cookie cutter, cut and paste movie production thing. Economically it's fantastic, but the quality of the content isn't really that appealing. And so that provides an opportunity, a market opportunity for people who really understand the internet and data to produce content that can disrupt that hegemony, that Hollywood hegemony. And it's happening already. You know, it's Amazon also. They flighted 8 pilots on their Amazon their video stream, and they took the data from the best 2, and they now have rolled out production in producing 2 of those pilots into full-blown series. So they've taken the data of what people like and they're putting it in there. And so, you know, this is the confluence of data and the ability to target the long tail markets, the cost deflation in movie production, while still having content as the key. Content is king. But it just goes to show that we prefer it in different flavors.